Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
Hi, I'm Bruce Faulconer.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right.
We are joined here tonight for another sit and talk interview with Bruce Faulconer from Faulconer Music Productions to talk about the updates regarding his Dragon Amnesty Kickstarter and more. Bruce, how you doing tonight?
Very good, thanks. Nice to see you guys again.
Yeah.
I know, and we have some fantastic news. So last time that we talked, Dragon Amnesty, I think we had 3 weeks for the Kickstarter, the Dragon Amnesty Kickstarter, and I think about 2 weeks after that interview, we had changed from Dragon Amnesty to Dragon Amnesty Now, and Dragon Amnesty Now absolutely crushed the goal that you set. With 116 backers and $7,561 that was supported. First off, congratulations. And I'd love to hear about the Dragon Amnesty Now project.
Yeah, my backers were just absolutely fantastic. I really appreciate them. And I'm going to be sharing all kinds of goodies, music and memorabilia, sheet music and things that go back to the beginning of Dragon Ball Z when I was writing. And I've got some manuscript archives I pulled out of the closet to share with certain tiers of the Dragon Amnesty. I changed it to Dragon Amnesty Now so that we could meet a goal that I think that people were willing to support, and then I was very pleased at how it came in at 150% of my expectations there, and you guys rock. I was so thankful to my backers on Kickstarter. I'm working on writing the music right now, and it's going to be an awesome journey over this next couple of months while I write this music. I have some new software and new hardware that's all music based. I'm going to use that to integrate newer sounds with some of the old classic Dragon Ball Z sounds that I used back in the day. And
I think that's going to be really fantastic. I know one of the first updates that we've made after hitting the Kickstarter goal once it concluded, you're working on a t-shirt design, and I believe the base graphic for some of this was by Tristan Shell, and these are different variations of the design. So for those that supported, you're offering 3 different shirt designs for the tiers that are able to get those. The first one here is the Dragon Amnesty with a really nice red background, the Faulconer Productions logo here on the right. The option B is a little bit more simple, though I do really enjoy this font. You have a red Dragon Amnesty design. And then the third one here is a little bit more red in the logo. And you also have the Faulconer Productions logo here in the middle. Do you have a lead on which one of these might be winning out, or is it still a discussion at this point with the backers?
Well, my backers are still coming. We've got a lot of response, and we're waiting to hear from a few more of them.
Yeah,
but I'm waiting till all the votes are cast.
Yeah, there you go. You got to count the votes, right?
And
stop the count.
Don't want to stop the count.
Count the votes.
It's interesting. The logo stuff was kind of a collaboration. My significant other, Lisa, my wife, started with some of the features of the logo, and Tristan Shell picked it up and really added some nice nuances, and he took the font to a new level and really made it rock. It's how it's, the font's kind of cracking is really cool. I really enjoyed that iteration of the view of what it looked like, and the subtleties of where the falcon, is In a few of the designs, it's more back in the background, out of the way.
Hmm.
I liked the one design too, where it talked about having a new composition, a new work by. It's in the really fine print there, hard to see, but
Oh yes, there we go.
and then so that's in design B, I guess, where it has
Yeah,
that, and design A has some kanji in it, so that's kind of cool.
fantastic. Yes.
So there's a lot about it I like on each one of them. So it's a hard decision.
And whichever shirt design wins, will that also be the cover work that will be made for the digital download and then for the physical release, or are those separate graphics?
That's a good question. It's still kind of up in the air, and I'll probably interact with my backers of Kickstarter too to see,
Yeah,
if they have a preference there too.
yeah,
Yes, I really appreciate those guys, and they're like they've become my partners in executive production, and so I really value their opinions.
yeah. We have a guy on our team that is just like that. We'll have like this really awful sticky note drawing of like, hey, is this possible? And his name is Manny, and he'll come through and uh, give us something fantastic. And I think, having a good graphic, I mean, it's just appealing, right? Going from I think they say most Kickstarters don't get funded, and if you look at the ones that don't, usually there's not a lot of eye-catching stuff on the page. It's just, a bunch of text, and I got to imagine that the artwork probably played a part in getting that funded. um,
Absolutely, I think that artwork is very important in getting people interested, just like a video might be as well.
yeah,
And it goes back to the days of when you had CDs on the shelf. If the artwork wasn't very good, you were not going to get noticed. And so that was always a real challenge with how to portray my Dragon Ball Z music without using the actual uh, licensed Dragon Ball Z images,
Right.
yeah.
which was another story for another day.
Another episode. Now, this one here, if people did still want to uh pledge towards Dragon Amnesty, it looks like the Kickstarter is closed. And so I know you had mentioned that you're working on launching a Patreon. And I guess that might be the best way if people, fans of yours or fans of the Dragon Ball music, wanted to help fund the creation of part one or the creation of the actual physical recordings. You do have a Patreon. Did you want to talk a little bit about your different tiers and some of the benefits that you offer at those tiers?
Sure. This is just brand new, and the the one drawback of a Kickstarter is that you do all this contacting of the people out there that might be interested in what you're doing, and then it's over. And um, so there's all this energy spilling over from those couple of months, especially because we had to reboot the Kickstarter,
Yeah.
because they don't let you just kind of like backtrack. So we had to create the Kickstarter 2.0
Yeah.
with Dragon Amnesty now, and so now some people still want to join in, and so I thought, well, how am I going to capture people's interest and let them share in this thing too, in a way that they can be equally vested in it, like the Kickstarter backers are. And I thought, well, if I create this Patreon, this will go on farther into the. It doesn't have a time limit,
Yeah.
so people can become patrons. So we just opened this thing up, and if you're listening, I'd love you to be a Patreon patron for my patreon.com/Bruce Faulconer. It's easy to find, and the guys have it up here. And the tiers are like, I was trying to figure out, well, what are the tiers that I would want to have, and I wanted to have it be inclusive and not just exclusive. So
Yeah.
I've got the $3 per month thing, and people at that level get to have digital content and some backstage kind of stuff, some percentage off of CDs that I have in my repertoire now. Not only the 9 Dragon Ball Z soundtracks, but Scenes in the Dark is another one. I don't know if that can go up at the same time. Are we
Yeah.
on the side there?
There we go.
So this is one of my CDs that we just recently released, Scenes in the Dark, and I think I'm gonna have some more coming too from some other musical plays that I have that have just never been released.
Yeah.
So the official patron can join and be a part of it, and people can always upgrade too. And then the all access patron, which was my second tier of 4, has just a little bit more, some early access to songs and releases, and talk about fine print here.
Yeah.
And the first 3 things that the regular tier gets are included in there.
Yeah.
And it spills over into the producer um, level, which is the 3rd tier, and you get your name in the next CD that's going to come out. And you can also get copies of handwritten lyrics or music manuscripts. I've got a lot of different music out there, and I was thinking of tying this into getting to know some of my other music, my piano music, my orchestra music, my songs, just all kinds of stuff I have out there to release. And quarterly live Zoom meetups with me. So I was going to have this kind of like a meeting where they could ask me questions and I could talk about music and everything. There's also a 4th tier here, and I was inspired by this to do this 4th tier because in my Dragon Amnesty Now, one of the actual backers went for the highest tier on Dragon Amnesty.
Yeah.
It was just totally awesome. We're going to have lessons on writing music for anime, and he'll have a good series of lessons with me. And so then that inspired this Patreon tier where you, what did I call it? Lower that a little bit.
It was called the University Masterclass.
Masterclass Patron. I had changed it to that just yesterday, so I was trying to provide a accurate description.
Yeah.
So the people who would sign up for this would get music compositions with me, so composing for film and composing for anime, and just the back scenes of how I've done it, how I did it for Dragon Ball Z, how I did it for pretty much all my music to picture career, which is a long time now.
Yeah.
And working on some feature films that are still in development. And in the meantime, just releasing another new release, my little Spark CD soundtracks. And this is not the official image, but it's one of the working in progress images that the book was originally. And if you go to my social media page, you can see the actual A Little Spark book is posted up there. But back to that Patreon
Yes.
You guys still there?
Yes. Sorry, we're trying to switch over to the different tabs here.
Okay. So back to the Patreon University Masterclass. The lessons will be huge, and I was going to do that in small group, maybe 1 to 3 people, 3 to 5 people. I'm just going to sort of do that as I go. My past background, although I've been a composer in my career for the past 3 decades, that's a long time. Wow. I started out as a university professor, and the official title was assistant professor, which is they're in the university levels. You may know you have assistant professor, associate professor, and then you have full professor. And so when you're a beginner, and I was a young, just out of finishing my doctorate in composition, and I became an assistant professor and did that for several years. But my craving of writing music was more of what I really wanted to do, and so I made an enormous jump back in that day and stopped teaching at university and just started writing music. So I thought at this point in my career, I wanted to share some of that experience and some of what I know about writing music for film and television, and kind of help the up and coming composers who want to do this.
Yeah. And that's a great price point, because I know master classes are kind of hot right now. There's a lot of different sites offering them. But the thing is, you're paying $200 for one master class, but all you're really watching is like 3 or 4 hours of pre-recorded videos. There's no back and forth. If you have questions, you don't really get answers to them. And being able to pay that and have weekly composition one-on-ones, or 3-on-1s, I think that's invaluable, especially for someone that's been in it as long as you have, and has obviously found some great success in composition. So I mean, I think that's a great tier, especially if you're a college student or a graduate student, and you want to take it to the next level in composition. I think that's a small price to pay for something like that.
And it really will be live, one-on-one. We'll all be on Zoom or whatever.
Yeah.
But it will be featuring the people who are the masterclass students, and I will be teaching them and also getting to hear what I send them off to do. They'll come back on different days and they'll play some of what they've been working on, and I'll give them musical criticism, musical ideas, and feedback. So it really will be a learning experience back and forth, that interaction, which you would have gotten in the classroom too. I know in my graduate experience, there were a few seminar kinds of classes up in the upper tier of your graduate courses where you'd have a couple of people, and you talk about a certain subject or a vision class or something where you collaborated and shared what you were working on, and it was a nice feedback and different experience than the other kinds of composition classes I had with my full professors, who were, composers who are known throughout the world for what they have written as well. So one-on-one is great, and so some of this I'm sure will be one-on-one, divided with the different people who would be participating. If I get a large desire to, and a lot of people who are signing up for this, I'll do it in multiple classes where it just has 3 to 5 people, and I'll have as many classes as I need to where they have that level of contact with me.
Mhm.
I'm not going to have anything like 30 people in one session. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very good deal for the people who sign up for that.
I remember when I was in college, and I wasn't like the greatest student, but I would every once in a while miss a class. And then I got lectured by my parents one time. They're like, this class, it's like $60 a class, right? For a 3 a week class.
Yeah.
And that's, you're in an auditorium with 500 students, right? And if you think about it, for a month of composition with yourself, I mean, that's, if you're serious about getting into composition, I mean, that's, you could certainly spend $200 in a much worse way.
Yeah, I was about to say there's way worse ways of spending that money.
Well, there'll be like 4 classes
Yeah.
each month.
Yeah, that's
So
fantastic.
Somebody could be with me for 6 months, a year if they want.
Yeah.
They'll be getting 4 classes a month. It'll be almost like a college course.
Yeah, exactly.
And the gentleman who took advantage of my Kickstarter, so that backer, he's going to have 10 one-on-one composition lessons.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So I think that's a fair kind of a value as well.
Yeah.
And each one is slightly different, but both equally fair in contact time. So they get me for just about like I'm figuring a reasonable college course.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think that's
like
that's
a 1 hour credit course would probably be equivalent price.
There you go. So I know this part of the Dragon Amnesty now was the phase 1 part, and the estimated potential release of Dragon Amnesty is somewhere around February 2021. Do you see that date moving back at all due to COVID at this point, or is February 2021 a pretty decent estimate?
I think it's a pretty decent estimate, and I've written this much music in way faster time.
Yeah, I bet.
I want to spend some time on it and just kind of like, this is our piece, and I want to play with the ideas. That makes it more time intensive thinking about what you want to do, but it's a realistic time frame.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you've done, I think it's 200 plus episodes of Dragon Ball Z, which is so good.
124, something like that.
Yeah. Did you have any shout outs that you wanted to give to any of the backers specifically, or any of the individuals that have helped you along with this project throughout the way? Well,
as a group, I want to shout out all the backers on Dragon Amnesty now. Thanks, guys and ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate that you have signed up for this and supported me in this commission. And I think it's really great that there's a platform out there that allows us to come together and create a commission. It wouldn't have happened in this kind of scale. I do get commissions, and they're generally from one entity or one person or a production company, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this one's kind of a different thing, and the Patreon / Bruce Faulconer is going to be likewise a different sort of a commissioning, and so it's very cool. I'm looking forward to hopefully that coming alive too, just like Dragon Amnesty now did.
Yeah.
And thanks, guys, too, for the patience of transforming it from Dragon Amnesty to Dragon Amnesty Now because of the constraints of Kickstarter. And
yeah, I think you guys did a great job with getting everyone on board, because I know I'm like the worst procrastinator. So if someone's not constantly like reminding me, hey, this needs to get done, I just could like forget. And you guys were so good with the communication. It wasn't too much. It was just the right amount that I was able to find my way to the new Kickstarter. But I'm glad to be a part of Dragon Amnesty now, and we definitely can't wait to see what it ends up being.
Appreciate that. I got a shout out too for all the people out there who accepted my posts, and it's like that y'all are real patient, and I guess it was for me it's like, wow, this is a hard thing to do, and yet I want to write music for these people who want me to write music for them.
Right.
And so it was like, how do I balance this between wanting to write music for you guys out there, and I think this platform is helping do that, the Kickstarter platform and the Patreon platform.
Yeah, if you ever have any questions with Patreon, definitely hit us up. We've been using it for I think like 8 or 9 months now, and it's honestly fantastic.
I was so scared to use it at first. I was like really hesitant. I was like, I don't know, like almost like I didn't think that people would be willing to, help us with the show. Like
there's a lot of love out there, and
yeah, exactly.
of affection for what we do.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that's always been my applause. But for the longest time, it came through. People would email me, and I would answer their emails.
Yeah.
And that's been going on for 2 decades now.
Yeah.
And
with
sometimes I even get phone calls because I'm not hiding my address. My address is on my website. My phone is on my website. Both my FaulconerProductions.com website and my CakeMixRecording.com website. We're here to help and serve the people who want us. And so every once in a while, somebody will be a Dragon Ball Z fan, and they'll call me up and say, hey, and we'll have a nice conversation for a little bit.
That's awesome.
And I know some of my composer friends would never do that. And it's like they just don't even answer the emails they get. I can't fathom.
Yeah, Zach and I make ourselves readily available to not just our Patreons, but like the people in our podcast group, and we just have so much fun interacting with them. Like
it's the applause
day to day. Yeah,
it's like I don't go concertize anymore. It'd be very rare if I did. I haven't in a long time.
Yeah,
and this is the applause you get for your work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So as a film composer, you kind of become a hermit, and you're sequestered in your room writing music and agonizing over what the best way to have something be expressed and performed, and the nuances of the performance and everything. And so then later on, when somebody emails you or contacts you on Facebook and all of those things, it's really nice because it becomes the applause for it.
Yeah, 100% agree. In fact, we got to a point where we felt pretty good with the Patreon. Like we had 2 tiers on ours, and it's been that way ever since we started. And then we had people ask like, well, can you guys make another tier that's more expensive? And we never thought, like, we thought at some point they'd be like, hey, can we make a cheaper tier? But we had a handful of guys that said, yeah, as soon as the next cycle rolls around, we're going to up the Patreon tier.
Cool.
And that was
huge,
was like
vote of confidence.
Yeah.
Like, wow,
can we?
they believe in us.
I do want to have some shout outs.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I want to shout out, hey Tristan Shell, you've been magnificent with the artwork. It's so awesome. You introduced me to the Sandusky newspaper in Ohio. And shout out to Patrick Fanner, the writer who did the article in the Sandusky paper. And I would also like to shout out the Dallas Observer writer, Danny Gallagher. And Also, once again, I want shout out to my backers on Kickstarter for Dragon Amnesty Now. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for that. And patreon.com / Bruce Faulconer. I know it's just getting started. It's just an infant.
Yeah.
Spawned a few days ago. So I'm hoping that will grow.
Yeah, it will. There's an old saying, if you build it, they'll come. And I really think that, someone that's as revered as you, I think there'll definitely be some DBZ fans that are going to pony up. Can we also give a quick shout out here to Little Spark? I know you mentioned it.
Absolutely. Oh my, thank you so much. You guys are awesome in keeping me on task.
Yeah, when we got
I want-
lost a little earlier, I was trying to pull it up and my computer was like lagging, and I was like, oh no.
I want to shout out to Chris Parsons, who is a magnificent man, and he's just one of those souls who has a light to the world. And this little book for children, and anybody could benefit from it, but it is an awesome, dear project to me. Chris and I have written 12 songs, and they just came out on Amazon, in Amazon Music. And the book just premiered October 1st. And within the book, it is a regular book, but it's interactive, and there are those QR codes, and the songs will come up in the book as you're reading the book with your children. And so the age range is younger kids all the way through older kids, and adults can have certain enjoyment on different levels. So it's for everybody. And Chris is just magnificent. It's been fabulous working and collaborating on the songs. And we're looking forward to more to come, and hoping that people will think about a little spark for the holidays, because
Yeah,
it's a great thing for the little ones in your life.
I'm looking at it right now.
A lot of those
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z fans out there, I know you guys are about to have kids, and this is something that you'll want to share with your children, because it's very special. It covers everything that you'd want your kids to grow up knowing. And the story is just dear. It's a very sweet story. And this is just the beginning of a little spark. So we're looking forward to great things for the little spark, the music, and there's also the audiobook. And we really went wild on the audiobook, and it has sound effects, and the story was told. Shout out to Brandon McInnes, the actor who was the voice actor who did the narration on The Little Spark. And I did the sound design and the music underneath, and Chris Parsons' story. And so the audiobook is just magnificent to listen to. It's almost like you're listening to a radio theater.
Yeah, we'll put the link for A Little Spark and your Patreon in the show notes. Here's a quick review of A Little Spark. Our panel of judges really felt this book merited a place on our list of the best family-friendly media products that parents and educators can feel confident in using, by Don Matheson, CEO of the Mom's Choice Awards. And the book did get a gold medal by that company. And you can get the book for $20 on Amazon Prime. Or you can get it for Kindle for $8.50. So if you're wanting to check that out, I have a 3-year-old, so I think this will be
That's
maybe
perfect.
this will be a Christmas gift for her. I think in fact, once I get paid, I'm gonna place an order for this book. But yeah, it has 5 stars rating right now and a
It's the
gold
number
medal.
one. It's the number one Amazon Music book when it released in October. So
Yeah,
it got that recognition from Amazon as well.
yeah, this looks This looks very exciting.
Yeah, your daughter will really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's something you can sit there with her and read,
Mhm.
and then take the QR code and listen to the song that's accompanying that part of the story. And there's a back section of the book too, where you can, this is a really cool feature. You can, again, use the QR codes, and you can take selfies with the Little Spark characters.
That's awesome.
So the kids will really enjoy that feature of the book itself too. So that's part of the interactive features of it, I think.
Love it. We'll definitely put some links to that in the description. Bruce, thank you so much for your time tonight. I know you're a busy guy, but we'll definitely look forward to future updates on Dragon Amnesty and with a little spark. Dean, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Just thanks for coming by again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
it's great
actually
hanging with you.
Yeah, he kind of sprung it on me. Not last minute, but he's like, "Hey, don't forget our interview." I was like, "Well, another one? Like, you're kidding me." So that's very exciting. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad to hang out tonight with you guys. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for your support and for interviewing me, and I just appreciate what you've done in helping me.
Yeah.
Well, you deserve it. You've made the music to our childhood, so this is the least we could do for someone that's done so much for us.
I appreciate that.
Anyways, guys, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Bruce Faulconer. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.